Hello everyone, boys and girls, mommies and tatis, bubbies and zadies. It is Nochum Greenwald here from Montreal, Canada. And today I want to show you something really special for Chanukah. You see, over here I brought my special olive press where we're going to learn how to make olive oil, shemen zayizach, pure olive oil for Chanukah. Not only that, I'm going to show you some special fire juggling tricks, okay? Here we go. But before we start, I want to share with you one of my favorite Chanukah stories. This story takes place many years ago in a place called Siberia. In Siberia, there was a man, his name was Usher. He was a chassid. His name was Usher Sisunkin, and he was actually in prison called a labor camp in Siberia. Why was he there? He was such a nice, good chassid. What was he doing in Siberia? Because he continued to do Torah and mitzvahs and spread Torah and mitzvahs to other Yidden, even though the Russian government didn't allow them to. The Russians said anyone that's opening a yeshiva or teaching is going to be punished. But Usher continued to do it. He continued to do Torah mitzvahs just like the Maccabees in the time of the Chanukah story. Now what happened is the Russian government, the police, the KGB, they caught Reb Usher and they sent him to Siberia and he said, you have to do hard work for doing all your illegal activities. And Usher, even when he was in this labor camp in Siberia, he continued to do Torah mitzvahs. Not only that, Usher met a man there in prison by the name of Nochum. His name was Nochum Roseman. Now Nochum, he grew up doing Torah mitzvahs, but when he got like 20 years old, he just stopped everything. He stopped doing Torah and keeping Shabbos and doing the mitzvahs, and he actually became a very big soldier and got a very high level in the Red Army in Russia. But the government accused him of doing something, and he was also sent to Siberia. Now Usher got very, very close to Nochum. In Siberia, in prison, Nochum started to serve Hashem even more than he did before he was in prison. Every night before they went to sleep, Usher would share a few words of Torah with Reb Nochum. They would find a few minutes here and there to daven together. And Nochum was really inspired to do the right thing and to connect to Hashem, even in such a hard place like prison in Siberia. One day, Usher and Nochum are in the forest. They were chopping down trees. And Usher says, Nochum, come here. Nochum comes over and Usher says, I have a plan. In 3 weeks from tonight is Chanukah. I want to light the menorah. Nochum says, how are you going to do that? He said, look, I found an empty can of tuna. I found it in the garbage. This will be our beautiful menorah. We're going to take some threads off our clothing and we'll use them as wicks. Every day they give us margarine. We're going to save half of margarine. It'll melt, it'll turn into oil, and we'll be able to light the menorah on Chanukah. We'll go behind the bunk, we'll hide, and we'll light the menorah. Are you ready to join? Nochum looked at Usher and he said, absolutely not. Usher said, okay, you don't want to do the mitzvah with me? He said, of course I want to do the mitzvah with you, but that's how you light the menorah? From a tuna can from the garbage? Absolutely not. So Usher said, what are we going to do? He said, listen, I have a friend that works in the metal factory. His name is Igor. He owes me some favors. I'm going to ask him to make me a menorah. I have another friend, Stefan. He works in the kitchen. I did for him once a big favor. He's going to do a favor for me. We're going to have a proper menorah and proper oil and light the menorah the right way by the doorway in our bunk on Chanukah. Usher said, wow, Nochum, you really want to do that? He said, yes. It was 2 days before Chanukah. They were in the forest again. Nochum this time calls over Usher. Usher, come here. He opens up his coat and he pulls out a beautiful but small menorah made out of metal with 8 cups and 1 for the shamash. Usher said, this is beautiful. And I got the oil too, said Nochum. See, boys and girls, When Usher wanted to do Torah mitzvahs in prison, he didn't just do it himself. He said, I want to share what I have with others. Imagine you're in a dark room. It's pitch black. All you need is one match to bring light into the room. That is what Usher did. He brought light into the dark place around him. And you see, Usher wasn't selfish. He didn't just care about himself. You see, some people, when they're cold, they put on a coat and they warm up. But others, instead of putting on a coat, they light a fire. And the fire not only brings warmth and light to them, it brings warmth and light to everyone around them. Many people think that when I give my time and energy to someone else, it's gonna take away from myself. But boys and girls, take a look. When one candle lights another candle, the fire from the first candle remains exactly the same. One candle can light 5, can light 10, can light 1,000 candles, and the fire remains the same. So too, when we share what we have, our time and our energy, helping other Yidden, we don't lose anything. We're able to give as much as we can without losing our original fire. It was the first night of Chanukah. Nachum and Usher set the menorah in the back of the bunk next to the storage room. All the prisoners were watching and said, oh my goodness, you guys sure you want to do this? You know what happens if you're going to be caught? They said, yes, we know what we're doing. They took the shamash and they lit the menorah. They made the brachas and they sang Aneres Halalu, and nothing happened. The same thing happened the second night, the third night, the fourth night. But something happened on the 5th night of Chanukah. On the 5th night, right after Usher and Nachum lit the menorah, they started to say Neres Halalu, when suddenly the door barges open and in walked a high-ranking Russian officer. Someone shouted, throw it out, throw it in the snow. But Usher didn't throw it out. And the officer walked right up to them in the back of the bunk. And he couldn't believe what he saw. The officer walked in and he saw Usher and Nachum standing by the menorah. The officer looked at them and he said one word. Piat. You see, in Russian, piat means 5. Adin, dva, tri, chetiri, piat. Usher looked back at the officer and he said one word, piat. The officer asked, it's the 5th night of Chanukah? Usher said, it's the 5th night. To everyone's amazement, the officer turned around and walked out. Years later, after Usher came out of prison, he said, I have no idea who that man was, but I can tell you what I think. I think that officer was Eliyahu Hanavi, and Eliyahu Hanavi came to us in the merit of Nachum, his Mesiras Nefesh, his self-sacrifice, to do the mitzvah properly in the hardest of times. You see, when Usher and Nachum were in a situation of darkness, when it was hard, when they were crushed, it brought out the best in them. They wanted to serve Hashem and do mitzvahs even though it was such a hard situation. Just like an olive gets crushed. And when the olive gets crushed, it brings out the best of it, the olive oil that's inside. So too, we have to know, boys and girls, that sometimes there are situations that are hard. It's not easy to do what Hashem wants. But at those times, we have a special koyach, a power to do what Hashem wants, even though it's hard and even though it's difficult. When we're crushed like an olive, we're going to make sure to do what Hashem wants, just like the Maccabees and just like our friends, Usher and Nachum. Okay, boys and girls, now I am Yehuda the Maccabee, and we're gonna learn together how to make olive oil for our menorah. So what we need is olives, because to make olive oil, we need some olives. Do I have any helpers that can help me? Oh, I think I see one. All right, step number one is we need some olives. So I'm here with Marcia Greenwald, and she's gonna help me put the olives in our very special bag. This bag is called a sock bag. We put our socks in here and we put it in the washing machine and it washes them. But today we're turning it into an olive bag. So Marcia, please put some olives into the bag. You can put a bunch. Thank you. Yeah, you can dump the whole thing. That's a good idea. Let's make lots of olive oil today. Okay, take a look. Let me see that. And the reason why I'm using this bag is because it has lots of holes. Because we want to make holy olive oil. I'm just kidding. We want the oil to come out of the bag. All right, so we take the olives and we put them around the olive press just like that. Okay, perfect. Then we take the olive press wall and we put one just like that. Now with the help of these blocks of wood, we're going to smash, squish, and crush our olives so hard until it turns into oil. Hey, look at that. I love juggling. Boys and girls, take a look at these special fire juggling tricks. These tricks are a bit dangerous, so don't try it at home unless you practice with a professional and you learn how to do it.
כשל צד, והעיקר לא מפחד כלל, ומלמעלה הוא שומר, צר ואויב לא יתקרב, אח לאח, יד ביד, ישראל זה עם אחד, ומלמעלה הוא שומר, שומר שומר ישראל. עם ישראל לא לפחד, השם אלוקיך הולך איתך. ישראל לא מתפחד, השם אלוקינו השם אחד. עם ישראל לא מפחד, השם אלוקיך הולך איתך. עם ישראל לא מפחד, השם אלוקינו השם אחד.
All right, back to our olive press. Marcia, are you ready to help me? Okay, let's take some blocks of wood and we're gonna pile them up on top of our olives, just like that. Excellent. Okay. Get a little tower. Good. Fabulous. This is the olive press Jenga tower. All right, once we have our pile of blocks, we're going to close the olive press wall because we don't want to get spritzed with olive oil. That's not what we want to happen today. Okay, we're going to take one lock, put it on this side just like that. We jump around this way. We'll put one lock just like that. Now with the help of this piece of metal, it's going to push and squish all our olives until we get some olive oil. So boys and girls, I need you to look carefully at this cup right here and tell me if you see some olive oil falling inside. Here we go. Any olive oil? Anything? Empty. Let's try again. You to the Maccabee has to be very strong. I have an idea. I'm gonna tilt the whole machine forward and let's see if we got anything. You ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, mazel tov. Okay. 1 second. That doesn't really look like oil. This is olive juice. We gotta get the oil out of this juice. Boys and girls, we have a special machine here called a centrifuge. And what it does is it's gonna take the liquid or olive juice, it's gonna spin it around really fast, and hopefully all the heavier juice will go to the bottom and the oil will go to the top. So let's take a look. We have a little tube here. I'm gonna open it out just like that. Pour it inside. Okay. There we go. Delicious. So we'll take our little tube and put it inside the machine just like that. Close it and turn it on. Now it spins it around really, really fast like a dreidel. Woo! And the whole machine is shaking. Beautiful. Okay. Let's see what happens. We turn it off. We wait till it stops spinning. We open the lid and let's take a look. Oh, take a look at that. Boys and girls, right over there. We got olive oil. Take a look at that. We took our olives, we crushed them up and put them in the centrifuge. And right up there we have a few drops of oil. Now there's only one way to know if the oil works, and that's by trying it in our menorah. So let's do that right now. We'll take the oil, we'll pour some of the oil inside, just like that. Okay. Boys and girls, I want to teach you a trick. If you ever need a wick, you take a piece of cotton and you pull off a piece just like that. And you put it in between both hands. And you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And you have a beautiful wick for your menorah. Okay, we'll take that wick. We will put it inside just like that. And let us see if our oil works. The moment of truth. Let's practice the bracha. Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech ha'olam Asher kidishanu b'mitzvohisav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner Chanukah. It works! Give yourself a round of applause! We did it! Check out these fun Chanukah tricks!
No fighter plane, no battleship can crush what's pure and sweet. It's that last drop of oil, it just won't see defeat. It keeps our little hub in flame and dancing to the beat. It's that last drop of oil, we'll take it to the street. And we'll blow smoke in the face of darkness, set fires to burn up the night. Tell and retell all your stories, be a miracle of light. Blow smoke in the face of darkness, set fires to burn up the night. Tell and retell all your stories, be a miracle of light. Canto es dinom, no canto nikmasom, Giboiri miyad chaloshim, Rabbi miyad miyad. I'll be a nest, I'll be a bright light, I'll be a miracle, I'll be a miracle of light. I'll be a nest, I'll be a bright light, I'll be a miracle, I'll be a miracle of light. Crushed like an olive, let your oil flow. When there's nothing left, your true colors show. So reach deep down and grab that spark. Ain't you tired of living in the dark? Show me a candle, I show you the light. Show me a candle, I show you the light. And we'll blow smoke in the face of darkness, set fires to burn up the night. Tell and retell all your stories, be a miracle of light. Blow smoke in the face of darkness, set fires to burn up the night. Tell and retell all your stories, be a miracle of light. Canto es dinom, וניק מסום גיבורים ביד חלושים רבים ביד ביד I'll be a nest, nest I'll be your bride